Hello and welcome to Hornbill TV. This is Prime at 9. Now headlines. Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that a special investigation team has been ordered to submit its report on the Nagaland firing case. The central government has announced rupees 11 lakh and a government job to the Mon district's firing victims' kin as ex gratia. The state government also announced rupees 5 lakh each to the victims' family. Prime Minister Narendra Modi received Russian President Vladimir Putin at Hyderabad House today in a historic meet where many issues pertaining to defense and others will be discussed. India and Russia are set to ink a raft of pacts to further boost cooperation in key areas of defense, trade and investment, energy and technology. Nagaland Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio demanded the removal of AFSPA from Nagaland, stating the act has blackened the image of the country. Chief Minister ordered a high-level probe in the killings of civilians during security forces anti-insurgency operation at Oting in Mon district. Now for the news in details. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar with Russian Defense Minister General Sergei Shoigu and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held the first ever two-on-two ministerial dialogue in Delhi on December 6th. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said that India-Russia defense engagements have progressed in an unprecedented manner in recent times. He hopes Russia will remain a major partner for India in these challenging circumstances, he said. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Russian-India defense cooperation is important for the relations between the two countries during these times. The minister is confident that Russia and India will help in enhancing regional security, said Shoigu. Also, EAM Jaishankar said that India-Russia meeting today will address emergence of multipolarity and rebalancing, and they will also look at the consequence of over-centralized globalization.
Defense engagements progressed in an unprecedented manner in recent times. I have had the honor of visiting Moscow twice and Dushanbe once to participate in the celebrations for victory in the Great Patriotic War and in 2 rounds of SCO Defense Ministers meeting. We hope that Russia will remain a major partner for India in these challenging circumstances.
इस वक्त जो है भारत रूस सहयोग सैन्य और जो सैन्य तकनीकी क्षेत्रों में ये विशेष रूप से महत्वपूर्ण है हमारे देशों के संबंधों के लिए। इस विकसित हो रही दुनिया में आज जो अंतर सरकारी आयोग की बैठक हुई मेरे समकक्ष और मैं हमने हमारे बीच विस्तृत चर्चा हुई हमारे सहयोग के बारे में रक्षा के क्षेत्र में और हम आगे के लिए योजनाएं हमने बनाए। मुझे विश्वास है कि जो दोनों देश के जो एजेंसियां हैं वे योगदान करेंगे ताकि हम क्षेत्रीय विश्वास को बढ़ा सकें और वैश्विक स्तर पर सुरक्षा को बढ़ा सकें।
Our discussions today will address the emergence of multipolarity and rebalancing. We look too at the consequences of over-centralized globalization. The COVID-19 pandemic has raised questions about the current model of global affairs, but the long-standing challenges remain even as new ones emerge. Prominent among them are terrorism, violent extremism, and radicalization. The situation in Afghanistan has wider repercussions, including for Central Asia. West Asia or the Middle East continues to present hotspots. Maritime security and safety is another domain of shared concern. We both have a common interest in ASEAN centrality and ASEAN-driven platforms.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi received Russian President Vladimir Putin at Hyderabad House today in a historic meet where many issues pertaining to defense and others will be discussed. Putin will hold the 21st Annual India-Russia Summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This will be the first face-to-face meeting between Putin and Prime Minister Modi after their meeting on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit in November 2019. During the summit, India and Russia are set to ink a raft of pacts to further boost cooperation in key areas of defense, trade, investment, energy and technology. The annual summit is a time for both leaders to recalibrate the long-stand friendship.
पिछले कई दशकों में वैश्विक स्तर पर कई फंडामेंटल बदलाव आए, कई तरह के जियोपॉलिटिकल समीकरण उभरे, किंतु इन सभी वेरिएबल्स के बीच भारत-रूस मित्रता एक कांस्टेंट रही है। दोनों देशों ने न सिर्फ एक दूसरे के साथ निसंकोच सहयोग किया है, एक दूसरे की सेंसिटिविटीज का भी विशेष ख्याल रखा है। यह सचमुच इंटरस्टेट दोस्ती का एक यूनिक और विश्वस्त मॉडल है।
Имею в виду, что мы вместе занимаемся разработками высокотехнологичной военной продукции и производством, в том числе в Индии.
By that I mean that we develop high technologies together as well as produce in India.
У нас есть еще очень важная повестка, которая, безусловно, представляет интерес как для Индии, так и для России. Я имею в виду все, что связано с заботой об окружающей среде.
We also have common important agenda that is of interest both to India and Russia, and by that I mean environmental cooperation.
Nagaland Chief Minister Nifyu Rio on December 6 attended the funeral service of civilians who were killed during Security Forces anti-insurgency operation at Oting in Mon district. The Chief Minister has ordered a high-level probe. Speaking to media, the Chief Minister said that the state government asked the central government to remove the Armed Forces Special Powers Act from Nagaland. He has spoken to the Union Home Minister, he said. The government has given financial assistance to the affected families and is asking the central government to remove the AFSPA from Nagaland, and this law has blackened the image of the country, he said.
हम होम मिनिस्टर से बात किया, वो उन लोग का बहुत सीरियस से ले रहा है। उन लोग को एक कृषि का 11 लाख दिया और भी 5 लाख दिया और इंजर्स को 50,000 दिया। एसपीए तो ये जो हम लोग भी हमेशा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से पूछता है कि ये रिमूव करो, इसलिए हम हिंदुस्तान है बिगेस्ट डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड एंड दिस इज अ ड्रैकोनियन लॉ, so it should be removed from our country. There can be many laws which can handle, but this is blackened the image of our country.
The Congress party in Manipur has demanded ₹1 crore as compensation for those who were killed and 10 lakh for those injured by security forces in Mon district of Nagaland. In a press conference that was held at the Congress Bhavan in IMPHAL, All India Congress Committee in charge Bhakta Charan Das said it was a total law and order failure for which the Home Minister should take full responsibility and resign from his position. Also, Congress Party MLA and Hill Area Committee Chairman Alfred Kangam Arthur said that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act should be repealed and that he totally agrees with the demand put forward by Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma. Normal life was affected in the hill districts as the Naga Students Federation called for a 6-hour band which was supported by the ATSUM. Candlelight vigils were held in several places by the ATSUM and other federating units.
We demand rupees 1 crore each to the deceased and rupees 10 lakh each to the injured as compensation. We also demand the government to constitute an inquiry committee to probe the incident so that justice can be served at the earliest. There is nothing to narrate you how this thing has occurred. Is it necessary to kill the civilian?
You tell me tomorrow, supposing the OC who is in charge of arresting anybody, because certain laws in the IPC say that the OC can suo moto. Supposing the OC directly goes to somebody's house, plants 1 kg heroin and says that I want to pick up this person, that is the end of law and order. What is the law and order system then? So Armed Forces Special Powers Act is not a life by itself. It doesn't have a life. It's the people behind the Armed Forces Special Powers Act that have to act responsibly. So likewise, every single segment of society today, especially the people in Manipur, we are up in arms, be it the valley, be it the hills, nobody is happy.
The Our Students' Conference has condemned the killing of unarmed civilians on December 4th in Oting village of Mon district by security forces. The way in which the security forces waylaid and killed 15 youths is highly condemnable in any civilized society, the AKM stated. Such a barbaric act committed by the security forces is a direct challenge to the civil code and a total violation of universal human rights, the organization stated. In this connection, the AKM has demanded immediate removal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, which allows security forces to unleash terror on innocent civilians and disturbing peace when there is a ceasefire and peaceful negotiation going on in the state. They further demanded an impartial and independent judicial inquiry immediately to be set up and the perpetrator brought to justice. Further, the organization demanded removal of all security forces camps from civilian areas in order to usher in a democratic environment for the peaceful citizens of the state. The Watsamungdang, the Apex Ao tribal women organization, strongly condemned the massacre by the Indian Armed Forces, killing 15 villagers. In a press release, the Watsamungdang expressed shock at the inhumane, cold-hearted, senseless and unmindful act. They claimed this is nothing new but a repetition of the Indian Armed Forces that had also in the past tortured, killed thousands, burnt villages and raped women for days on end in the name of fighting insurgency. The Watsamungdang added that the Nagas have been protesting against the AFSPA Act since many years and the recent massacre has once again triggered their wounded hearts. Such a heinous act and high-handedness applied in disguise of the AFSPA is totally unacceptable and should be totally condemned by one and all, the organization stated. This unwarranted incident has once again created a huge vacuum of trust deficit among the civilians and the armed forces, and the latter should be held accountable for violating human rights and freedom in the outright, it stated. In this regard, the Watsamungdang has urged the authorities to book those responsible and to deliver justice at all costs at the earliest.
Kiman Jun jama hoise India tak DC office bar tak company gora aru amakan participate kora karone thank you beshi thank you janai dia ase aji amakan silent procession to yadi kutum hobo Yadi pura AKM officials pura memorandum ki pura dise itu lui chayena administration laga hati di dibo yadi pura amakan sob disperse koribo amakan mondi ki incident olai gena ase aro amakan poila time de MOKOKCHUNG de ki incident hoise amakan paratak itu avoid koribole karone subke request kori ase amakan ki hoise amakan sob pura jane konyak brothers kan ge ki hoise amakan sob pura jane to itu another konyak amakan MOKOKCHUNG aji nobuna bole karone amakan sob itu mondir rakhigana aji adiba chupchap disperse koribo ite president bra kohani shina amon kitia yadi program khotom hobo itu pasode program khotom howa pasode aru law and order situation kunoba ulaise koile itu nichor laga risk hobo.
Community and students organizations of districts across Nagaland observed Bands as a mark of both protests against the killing of civilians in Oting village of Mon district by Indian military forces and as a mark of solidarity with those who were killed. Citizens of Kifre district observed total shutdown from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on December 6 by closing all business establishments and government offices. In Woka and Perin districts too, there were shutdowns. On the 6th of December, the Parent Students Union Nagaland with the Ziliangrong Students Union in collaboration with all Nagaland Taxi Association of Perin observed a 6-hour total shutdown called by Nagaland Students Federation in solidarity with the people of Mon as it mourned the killing of the civilians. In Woka, the Lotha Students Union enforced a total shutdown starting from 6 to 12 noon on the 6th as per the appeal of the Naga Students Federation. The shutdown passed off peacefully. In MOKOKCHUNG, thousands responded to a silent march called by the AO Students Conference to show solidarity with the victims killed by the military in Mon district. A silent march started right after the AO Sandan Band was lifted from the IMPHAL Sports Complex to the police point where a short program was held and a memorandum to the Governor of Nagaland read out. Later, the procession proceeded towards the MOKOKCHUNG Deputy Commissioner's office to submit the memorandum. According to claims of protesters, there was anger after protesters saw some military personnel taking pictures or videos, but a quick intervention from the AKM leaders and various civil society leaders resolved the issue, and later the memorandum was submitted to the district administration. Meanwhile, the 6-hour ban from 6 a.m. to 12 noon imposed by the AO Sandan concluded peacefully without any untoward incident. Strongly condemning the killing of Naga civilians by Indian armed forces in Nagaland's Mon district, candlelight vigils were held at the historic Kangla Fort on Monday evening by different youth organizations based in IMPHAL. According to Peter Monsang, Ansam president, Band was peacefully observed in Ukrul, Senapati and Chandel districts. India and Russia concluded a much-awaited deal for the joint production of more than 600,000 AK-203 rifles. Russian Director of the Federal Service for Military Technical Cooperation, Dmitry Shugaev, on December 6 said today they signed a document program of the development of the military technical cooperation until 2031. It is a joint venture which will produce rifles AK-203, and for these entries 10 years, and they will produce more than 600,000 rifles, said Shugaev.
We are very satisfied with our cooperation. Today we signed a document which is called Program of the Development of the Military Technical Cooperation until 2031. It's very important for us for the entire 10 years. We have a large program for the common cooperation. And we know that that was a big work before this very important day, and we are very satisfied that AK with 203, it is a joint venture which will produce rifles AK 200, and for the entire 10 years we will produce common quantity of more than 600,000 rifles.
That's all for the news. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.